Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome around the globe to Kangen Water Radio, featuring the Kangen Water Health and Information International Call, where we consider, clarify, and often correct the conventional wisdom around Kangen water technology, the different machines, the science behind water types, uses, and benefits, the testing process, the maintenance and cleaning of the machine, and much, much more. We also explore a plethora of other topics as we teach, promote, and discuss the three-pronged approach to health and wellness: hydration, detoxification, and complete macro and micro nutrition. I'm retired family physician, Dr. Lisa Battle Singletary, now your trusted health navigator, your virtual keto coach, and I will be joined by my co-host and fearless leader, Mr. Terrence Hope, a Magic 6A distributor extraordinaire, and together we bring you the best of both worlds. Wow, this is call number 434. I just can't believe how time is ticking. It is October 16th, so we are halfway through the month of October. Actually, technically a little more than halfway. Well, maybe exactly halfway, since it's noon and it's a 31-day month. But anyway, welcome to you all. I'm so glad you're here with us today. And our topic today, I just took a look at the news, the health news articles, and there's some articles that have just come out in the past 48 hours or less that I really wanted to share with Kangen Water Nation and give our, input about how we look at these articles, but also about the three-pronged approach and how we can be proactive in dealing with some of these issues. So I'm keeping one eye on the participant list to see when our fearless leader checks in. But until he does, like I said, welcome to everyone that's here, and we will get started. So I have a couple. Oh, wait, let me pull up the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All righty. I'm going to share my screen. And I did, like I said, pull up some articles for you. They're not in a particular order. But so this is the first one this was the last one I pulled up. So it's the first one that showed up on the screen. And this article really strikes me as far as the three-pronged approach. Now, we might have a little technical stuff happening. I'm not sure, but our fearless leader is here. And if he co-hosts me back, I think we'll be in good shape. So anyway, the swinging of the pendulum as far as nutritional data over the years is really staggering to me. How, okay, eggs are bad. No, eggs are good. Butter is bad. No, butter is good. I don't even know if butter is bad or good again. I mean, according to the conventional wisdom. So dairy foods were bad. Now they're good again, and everything is again, because everything was good back in the day. So let me, I'll just stay on this page to go to the next article. So the three-pronged approach, our good food, bad food list this list is decades old. It just got a little bit of an update with GMO. So we know genetically modified organisms, bad, bad, bad. They're on the bad list. But the dairy has always been on the good food list. Butter has always been on the good food list. Eggs have always been on the good food list. And it's just been, with all of the conventional wisdom shifting the tides of the medical industrial complex shifting. You avoid the 12 bad foods, you go a long way to benefiting your health. Okay. Speaking of the foods we need to avoid, Healthline provided us this article. Actually, I was going to do this kind of last. So, but Healthline, Americans are eating more ultra-processed food, how to cut down on them. And here are the main takeaways. People in the United States are eating more ultra-processed foods, which is increasing the risk of health issues such as obesity and heart disease. Experts say you can reduce your consumption of ultra-processed foods by cooking meals from scratch. A lot of us started doing that more during the last 18 months, 20 months, right? Reading ingredient labels. Now, we've done a little label reading. We've highlighted some of the tricks that they use on the labels. Like one of my favorites was some snack that was made with 100% cheddar cheese. And, it was like made with, the width was real small, and 100% cheddar cheese just blasting on the label, which of course, you read that quickly, you're thinking, oh, this is 100% cheddar cheese. Not. Or using the word natural, all natural. What does that mean? Not touched by human hands. Anyway, yeah, we've done some label reading. And point number 3, they add, you can buy healthier foods within your budget by sticking to a pre-written shopping list, buying items in larger quantities, and saving leftovers to eat on another day. All true. Okay, and you know me, there's certain gadgets that have changed my life, including the pressure cooker. Now, I'm really considering getting a food dehydrator because I love frozen vegetables and I'm always running out of them, but I don't have a lot of room to store them in my, apartment size freezer. So, and I just love gadgets, and I think I got all the gadgets that I really need, but I'm thinking about a dehydrator. So I'll let you know how that goes. All right, but Healthline does give us some really good information. I find them to be a very practical go-to as far as looking for information. So they define and give examples of ultra-processed foods. Now think about, how often have you eaten these in the last, like I said, 20 months? Frozen pizza, soda, fast food, sweets, salty snacks, canned soups, and most breakfast cereals. Even if there's something that you don't normally eat, I think a lot of people are drifting back into the comfort foods of their, childhood maybe, or just convenience. So we need to think a little bit out of the box. And let me tell you, a pressure cooker adds convenience to, I'm not trying to sell pressure cookers. I wish I got an endorsement for them, but they changed my life. And I say they because I have 2 right now. I think I've cooked through like 7 of them. So they've been a part of my life for a long time. All right, so we talk about health. Healthline talks about healthier choices, eating right when the budget is tight. So good good information But I love this also, that at the end of their articles, they will usually bring another article in that is related. And look at this, ultra processed foods may increase the risk of inflammatory bowel disease. Well, we know, right, that gluten is going to be the top 4 of 12 on the bad food list are there because they contain gluten or a gluten-like protein in those plants. And just a reminder, all of these articles I will include in the show, in the description box on the YouTube video. So you'll be able to have direct access to these and do your own deep dive. Now, this is an article, but I'll leave that for last. This article was very interesting to me. This was the first article that I pulled up today. And this is, October 12th is when this was released. So, very, very hot off the press. So you might have heard about this, that they are shifting the guidelines for aspirin, mini dose aspirin, preventing heart attacks or strokes. Now, the conventional wisdom used to be that if you wanted to prevent blood clotting that would lead to a heart attack or a stroke, you should take a mini dose aspirin every day. And so now the wisdom is shifting that older adults without heart disease shouldn't take daily low dose aspirin to prevent a first heart attack or stroke. An influential health guideline group said, and this was their preliminary advice that was released. Now, the reason I want to show you this is, we've talked about the pendulum swing. How big of a pendulum swing can this be? When I was practicing, the first thing that we had to make sure, as far as prevention for our patients, was to make sure they were on a low dose aspirin. So there's one sentence in here that, oh, there it is. Okay. So this task force now is saying that it's sticking by using aspirin as a prevention of a second or a subsequent stroke or heart attack, but not for primary prevention. And they said certain people in the 50s and 60s may want to consider, previously they said people in the 50s and 60s may want to consider a daily aspirin to prevent the first heart attack and stroke, and that they might get protection against colorectal cancer too. The updated guidance says more evidence of any benefit for colorectal cancer is needed, but doctors have long recommended daily low-dose aspirin for many patients who already have had a heart attack or stroke. This does not change that advice. Here's the sentence that really hit me in the context of reviewing articles for Kangen Water Nation. Here we go. The guidance was posted online to allow for public comments until November the 8th. The group will evaluate that input and then make a final decision. Okay, so everyone says, follow the science, follow the science, follow the science. Since when, and I know the answer to this question, since when does the science include whatever public input they can get in a certain period of time from people that have access to their internet article? Okay, so that's why I wanted to bring that article to your um, attention. Now, I hear beeping. I don't know what that is, but um, let's see. Now, this article actually was the first article I wanted to bring. What's the link between mental health and allergies? Now, we've talked about several things uh, uh, on this call, on this Kangen Water Radio, and previously Kangen Water Health and Information International call, dealing with mental health issues. And we've been able to link mental health issues with many things that I'll say I did not previously think would be uh, so tied. For instance, we've talked about gut bacteria and mental health. We've talked about, okay, I was trying to multitask, I can't. We talked about light and mental health, color and mental health. And now a link between mental health and allergies. We've talked about oxidative stress, chronic inflammation, and mental health, just regular stress in your environment. Environmental stress, the electromagnetic radiation and mental health. So we've talked about a lot of different things dealing with mental health, but I haven't specifically talked about allergies and mental health. But what's the link there with you? And we have talked about in our foundation, our foundational principles here are not really dealing with individual diseases. And we don't, this is a disclaimer, we don't diagnose, treat, mitigate, prevent, or cure, that's important word, any diseases here. What we do is we learn what are the underlying causes of the diseases, what the body needs in order to fight these diseases, and we give the body what it needs through the three-pronged approach: hydration, detoxification, and complete nutrition, so that the body can fight these diseases. Now, this link between mental health and allergies, well, what's the underlying cause of allergies? Absolutely, chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. Why? Very often, it's from a gluten intolerance, gluten inflaming the intestines and not allowing the intestines to absorb the little bit of nutrition that might be in the food that people are eating. All right, so we'll get to this a little bit later because I do want to dive more deeply into this research and into this connection between mental health and allergies. But you could put any disease in there, just blank out allergies and put in any itis, any osis, any penia, any disease name that you can think of, there's going to be a link between that disease and mental health. Why? Well, not just because having a chronic disease affects your mental health, and Mr. Hope and I have had many discussions about that, both on and off the show, but the underlying cause of all of these diseases, 98% of these diseases plus maybe, is the same: chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. So, let me see if I can figure, no, I can't. So I think, Mr. Hope, I still need, I don't know, co-hosting powers. I would appreciate it anyway. Okay, so here's the last article, and here's the article that I thought about Mr. Hope when I read this, and it is from the American Stroke Association. So that was the link. We were talking about strokes before. Carrying a tune could lead to better health. So we know that there are people here that, not here on the planet, I mean, that are not musical at all. But let me tell you, and I can't imagine a life without a musical ear. I've talked to people, I've actually interviewed people that tell me they are absolutely, they, you know, their children might play instruments and sing, and they are tone deaf. It's really interesting. Those discussions have been very interesting to me. But anyway, Mr. Hope certainly can sing. And so I thought about this article, but it gives us several things that help, that singing helps. So for instance, when you limber up your larynx, and please never say larynx or pharynx. It's larynx and pharynx. I'm sorry, that's the anatomy professor in me. It's one of my pet peeves. So larynx, they spelled it correctly, I think. What's the plural of larynx? I'm not gonna sweat that one. Okay, but singing a song triggers the reward system in the brain, releases dopamine, makes us feel better. Also, where was it? Something about the respiratory system, you know, taking deep breaths, it helped. There we go, strong impact on lung function. And remember our quick life hack: every hour on the hour, take 3 deep diaphragmatic cleansing breaths, right? Just keep simple things make such a difference. But I love this. It doesn't matter if you're singing in a public group, if you're alone in the car singing along with Michael Jackson, or if you're in the shower, but there's a healing power in music. So also we've got healing power. Yeah, yes, thank you. In our dear fearless leader, Mr. Terrence Hope, a Magic 6A distributor extraordinaire, vigilant, consistent, persistent health advocate, health influencer to the stars and to the globe, and entertainer to the stars and to the globe. Mr. Hope, are you with us, sir?
Now, Dr. Singletary, I happen to be with you and seem to be experiencing some connectivity issues, but doing my best to hang on with the family and friends here around the world on the Kangen Water Health and Information Call on Kangen Water Radio. And I am delighted to hear the subject matter, of course, as well, that you're speaking on regarding nutrition and some of these things that we heard were good for us, and sometimes we heard now that they weren't, and the back and forth. There's so much things out here we just need to know the basics on. And clearing that up is, I think, one of the hallmarks of this call, so people have the best information. Is oil good for you? I heard I could put oil in my foods. And then you find out, oh no, oil actually causes damage on the circulation into the heart, which is true. We just wish that they would just tell us the truth at the beginning, that there's, all these profit or just whatever reasons that they would give us bad information that would end up being really more harmful to us. They would just tell us the truth and let us be free, so, but I'm thankful that we have a call that's liberating in that sense. And I understand even more and more why people come here on a regular basis to get that regular information that we provide. I think you've given a pretty good amount of data. Maybe we can start right now with maybe some Q&A. see if people have questions thus far before I might talk more on a little bit of Kangen water information, letting people understand the true nature of Kangen water, what it is, how it works within the body, how we truly define it, and how best to share that with others as you share the compassion, knowing that people can have a benefit in their health with a better water, in our case, electrolyzed reduced Kangen water. So maybe we'll start with some questions because you've had some pretty good subject matter here now, Singletary.
All right, so if you look on your Zoom, you can see reactions. And one of the reactions that you can have is raising your hand. So if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to bring to the call, just raise your hand, or you can type a message into the chat and we will see your typed message. We love any of the reactions that you have, the hearts, the explosions, the all that. But if you have questions or comments, we do welcome you to raise your hand. And I'll keep my eye out. That's why my eye looks like it's going to the side, because that's where the all the little flash things are happening that and the control things are happening. Okay, so you mentioned, Mr. Hope, well, I mentioned, and you mentioned that I mentioned the swinging parallel, but you talked about, why don't they just tell us the truth? And, you have to go back to the source. And what a lot of these articles are that they use, I bring articles purposefully to the call that are generally review articles. And that means that someone or a team, usually of scientists, have scoured the globe and scoured the entire database, or all the databases that they have access to, of medical research, and they've looked for the research articles and the research results. Well, that's one way of doing research. And, we prefer review articles to individual studies that may be very small. They may not have a good study design. They may not be case controlled, double blinded, etc. But, there's a process based on money of how you can afford to design studies, and then how much of that data you can obtain, how much of the data you can massage, how much of that data you can correlate, and then interpret. And all of that is a part of the research, but it also becomes a part of policy making. We have had the advantage, when I say we, nutritionally, have had the advantage of the wisdom of the initially veterinarian, then agriculturalist, then human. It was agriculture first, agricultural, then veterinarian, and then naturopathic physician. But in that time, part of his not pedigree, part of his resume included being a comparative anatomist. So this is called primary research. This is a person that has done over 30,000 autopsies himself and has been able to correlate exactly, being a vet, he knew exactly what the animals ate that succumbed to these chronic diseases. And then he knew exactly what humans lie. So he didn't know exactly what the humans ate, but seeing firsthand the gross anatomy as well as the microscopic anatomy of tissue samples of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of diseases, and being able to correlate them to what they eat and what nutrition is in their system, is in their bloodstream, that gives us an advantage to be able to say, okay, these are the 90 nutrients we need, and these are the foods particularly that need to be avoided. So it's more important when we look at the good food, bad food list, it's more important to avoid the bad foods than whatever dietary intake you decide to utilize, whether it's keto, paleo, vegan, farm to table, organic, you know, omnivore, carnivore, all the vores, Mediterranean diet, love. Whatever diet you choose to follow, and people change from time to time as well. But no matter what season of your life or what stage of your dietary intake you're in, it's so important to avoid the 12 bad foods and to hydrate properly, to detoxify, and excuse me, to do all the things. I think we had 7 things on our recent call about what the body really needs, including rest. So I'm looking for hands, and I'll pull up the gallery. So if you can't figure out how to do the raise your hand in the Zoom, now I can see everyone that's got their cameras on. If you got your camera on, most of these are pretty pictures. Oh, very nice pictures. So just turn your camera on and wave to us, and we would love to field your question. Now I see Mr. Hope. Now I think he's just waving. I don't think he's trying to get. But can you, I don't know your status, Mr. Hope, can you unmute?
Sure, I can unmute. And, I seem to have some better connectivity. I was using 2 different computers. One seemed to be better than the other one, and getting some connectivity. So using my mobile systems are pretty strong, but today there have been some challenges. So, but glad that we have a team here, and so glad that we've got people from all over the world, as I see, tuning in, to get this information. So once again, we're always glad to provide the resources and health data that helps your lives, our lives, be better, that we understand true health and what we really need for
would
better.
You like me to dig up your
Kangen water
slide deck?
magic. Well, I've got the slide deck.
Oh,
So,
all right.
I'm fancy like Applebee's today.
All right.
I do have a, so the system seemed to have come along and got themselves together. And so I'll share a little this or that. System's just a little bit slower than normal, I can tell you that. That's for sure. But the system is is certainly present, and with a little this, a little that. My magic slides. So it looks like some of you have maybe even invited people to come to the call today, looking for information about the Kangen water machines. And we are the Kangen Water Health and Information Call. So what is Kangen Water? What are the Kangen water machines? And what is our motto? Our motto is change your water, change your life. Yeah. The Kangen water machines, in fact, come out of Japan, starting back in 1974 as industrializing systems in Japanese hospitals. And that grew over the years, 20-year period to 1995, where the Kangen Water Company produced home models, similar to what we have today. By 2003, the company came into the United States, and between 2003 and 2008, they were able to expand around the world and bring these machines to people in every country on the planet, which is where we are today. So we are the United Company selling the Kangen water machines, and we give you the motto, change your water, change your life. What is Kangen water? Kangen water, and you all keep remembering this. I know I keep repeating it. Somebody said one day, hey, he says the same thing every day. Yeah, because people ask me the same question every day. They say, they say, well, alkaline water is important. Your body's alkaline. I'm like, didn't I just say that for the 10 millionth time? That's okay. You keep saying that, I'll keep saying this. What is Kangen water? Kangen water, by science definition, is electrolyzed reduced water. Electrolyzed reduced water is the science term that you want to look up. And that way you'll have the specific definition to research what the benefits of this kind of electrically processed water is. Electrolyzed reduced water is produced in a process where electricity comes in direct contact with water. When electricity comes in contact with water, that process is called electrolysis. So electrolyzed, electrolysis, electricity is the core. Yeah. This is one of our Kangen water machines, but I want to show you the different models we've got. This is the Kangen 8 machine, or the K8. It's our brand new top of the line model. This is the Platinum SD501, which I'm starting to show more often now, because the original SD501, as we see in the screen over here, known as our flagship unit, is excellent. But oftentimes people then see the Platinum and say, hey, what's that machine? It's decoratively different than the original SD501. It has a metal exterior. The original SD501 is more colorful with the pH colors shown in front. But on the inside, these two machines are exactly the same. They have 7 plates on the electrical circuit. The Kangen 8 machine has 8 plates on the circuit. The more plates you have, the stronger the antioxidant effect, the greater the volume of antioxidant ions in the water. The Kangen 8 machine has a universal power supply system. So if you wanted to travel to any country in the world, you can plug the Kangen 8 into any electrical socket from the United States to India, to Dubai, to the UK, to Uganda, to Nigeria, and it's going to work without using a power converter. So that's better and safer to make sure that your machine is adapting and the converter you may have been using is functional. In this case, it's already adapted inside. So Kangen 8, if you need that feature, I would get the Kangen 8. Many people buy it because it is our top of the line machine. It does have extra settings to control power and adjust for what they call acid levels in your pH in your primary water. So highly recommended for those cases. Otherwise, if you don't need those features, SD501 or Platinum or SD501 original, save a little bit of money on those. Kangen 8, SD501. So water hits electricity. Put it backwards, electricity hits water, yeah? And when electricity hits water, is our H2O molecule, being hit by electricity, it causes the water molecule H2O to divide into 2 segments. H2O is how it starts, divides into this H2O, divided into 2 places, H negative and H plus. This is hydroxide ion and hydrogen atom. So the hydroxide ion is an alkaline molecule. The more you have of them in the water, we can then say the greater the volume of antioxidant molecules in the water. It's really more of a measuring tool of the overall volume of antioxidant ions or molecular structures in the water. So water is being hit by electricity, divided into segments, producing this OH negative molecule that we can use to measure the overall volume of antioxidant molecules in the water at a time. This is what it might look like inside the machine at the circuit level, where the poles, negative and positive, are flowing electricity. Water is being hit by that, and you get a lot of activity going on that produces antioxidant ions and molecular structures. So look up the term electrolyzed reduced water so you can understand what Kangen water is and its science terms. It's an antioxidant water. There are meters that we use that show numbers that are either negative or positive. If the water has a negative number on our meter, it's called the oxidative reduction potential meter. It's going to be an antioxidant water and strong. The greater the negative number, the stronger the antioxidant effect. On the scale, it's giving you an example showing a high number of 400 for the Kangen water machine, although it can go as high as 750 or 800 on the negative side, showing it's a very strong antioxidant substance. Positive numbers in the very extreme will be toxic or oxidizing. So be careful of things like that. Soda is a big culprit of that. Your body is mostly water. The kind of water you have in the body will dictate its cell function. When you can remove toxicity effectively, the body can be better at maintaining its pH balance, uninhibited by toxic loads. That's the goal of our machines, to produce an antioxidant effect that can remove toxicity from the body. This is an example of a fish tank I like to use, where if you have a fish tank at home and you're a pet keeper of fish, you'll know that you have to filter that out in order for the fish to stay healthy. Otherwise, you'll have problems. In the same way, your body has to be filtered out as well. Toxins have to be removed. And you do that with our, Kangen water machine, removing toxicity. Watch out for junk foods. They're bad for you. What more can I tell you? You know the deal. Hey, listen, everybody knows what junk foods are. Y'all know you should be eating that stuff. At least know we found out recent years, back in the 1960s and 70s, there wasn't a lot of information that it was bad for you. It was like, oh, that's food. Go there, get it. Go to McDonald's. What do the kids say? McDonald's. Not knowing we're walking into a trap of toxic substances. So watch out for the toxic foods. Stay healthy on the nutritious ones. So watch out for these Coca-Cola bottles. Soda, it's really bad for you. Your body has different pH levels and different organs. So I want to always pull up the slide to remind people, don't get caught up in the rhetoric of the body being alkaline. The body's not alkaline. It has acidic chambers and alkaline chambers, and some of the organs can vary between acidic and alkaline. Your body does not shift its pH based upon the pH of the food you ate. So the whole concept of I got to eat an alkaline food to be alkaline, it's biochemically incorrect. When you eat your food, your body being self-regulating. Let me start this way. Your body manages its own pH. It just needs to have healthy food to do it. And it has to have a toxic-free environment to maintain it. So the stomach will be acidic while the heart will be alkaline. The brain will be alkaline while the saliva will range from acidic to alkaline. Urine can range from a highly acidic to alkaline depending on the stage of detoxification. The small intestines, large intestines can be more in the acidic range. Yeah. So you're looking at things so you get to understand different organs have different acid to non-acid levels. Some organs have to be acidic in order to be healthy. Some organs have to be alkaline. So we have to get rid of the alkaline argument. It's not about alkalinity. Your body maintains it by itself. Eat organic, healthy foods. Your body will maintain the health properly. It will minimize toxic buildup. And if you do get toxic from whatever junk food buildup you had, remove it with an antioxidant substance like Kangen water. Watch out for those bottles of water in the store for alkaline water. They're just mineralized alkaline water. It's not the same as heating water with electricity. They just dump alkaline minerals in the water. When you do that, it just makes the water alkaline to sound like us, is what really their idea. Alkaline water became popular because Kangen water was called alkaline water. Well, Kangen water should really be called electrolyte reduced water. That way everybody could have jumped on the bandwagon and made these fake waters that people think are actually antioxidant when they're not. And you watch out for some of these alkaline waters. They have non-absorbable alkaline minerals that can end up causing you calcium buildup. That can lead to a pH imbalance, which will cause a chronic health problem. So don't drink Essentia. That's right, I said it. So what? What are you gonna do? Well, maybe something, but I'm saying it. So don't drink that stuff. It's bad for you. Stay away from that. People out there buying cases of Essentia because oh yeah, alkaline water is good for you. No, what you heard was Kangen water was good for you, but it was being called alkaline water. Electrolyte reduced water is what you want. Get to that water, buy a machine, get your friend that has some, get healthy. That's the way we do it. That's the way we get it done. So be careful. These things can be toxic that are put in these alkaline water bottles. You don't want that. Your body's self-healing, just like the animals in the wild. Notice that they never really have the same level of chronic illnesses we do. As long as they're in a mineral-rich environment, which you normally are, they're not going to experience dialysis, diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney failure, taking dialysis, heart disease, they die, whatever the natural causes are, but they don't go through what we go through. They eat produce and they eat protein. Humans eat McDonald's. Those deer are not eating McDonald's, and rightfully so. So eat healthy. Your body's self-healing from the surface of the skin to the depths of the bones. Just remove toxicity, nourish yourself properly, so your body can maintain that. Even when you go to the doctor and they put a cast on, it's not like it's a magic bullet or anything like that. The body has its own mechanisms. Let it take its course, the body will heal. So that's what I got to say about that. Once again, KangenWaterNation.com is the website you can reach us on, buy your machine, hear about the machines, contact us with questions. We're happy to answer. the United States, 866-526-4368. It's 866-526-4368 in the United States. If you're throughout Europe, Africa, and of course in the United Kingdom, use our British number. It's +44 as the country code, 800-086-9793, +44 800-086-9793. That's in the United Kingdom, including Wales, Scotland, England, and Northern. That number when you call us overseas, because that's basically our international number. It's 800-018-9. Happy to take your questions. We have representatives in all these countries that will help you, and we're happy to answer your Kangen Water questions. So kangenwaterlondon.co.uk. It's our British website, kangenwaterdubai.com. For us in Dubai, worldwide, we just any of these websites, we're happy to answer your questions. So we want to ask you to come on board and ask us questions now. Dr. Singletary has gone over a lot of data, a lot of information. She's been a wealth of information for us all. And so we'd like to take your questions about the Kangen water machines. We'd like to take your questions. So, raise your hand or certainly unmute yourself, kind of like at will. And we'll bring you to the call, hear your voice. Tell us where you're hailing from. It excites us to hear people come on phones from around the world. And happy to be here. Dr. Lisa Singletary, MD.
Okay, I had to reclaim host powers, Mr. Hope. So, but thank you for that. And I do want to say, I see you're unmuted, Vernita. So I'll get to you in just a second. And again, thank you to everyone who's on the call. But I want to, you mentioned a certain brand name of alkaline water, Essentia. And I have watched you over the years do multiple Kangen water demonstrations, including multiple tests with the ORP meter, the oxidation reduction potential meter. But I, in the back of my mind, had this question: what would Essentia do? And it was almost a running joke, because I was waiting, to see if you'd bring out the Essentia bottle, or just it was just going on in my mind. And one day we were together live in Bethesda, I think, and you did a demonstration, and sure enough, you had a bottle of Essentia. And in my head, my dad's a drummer, so there was a drum roll when you were going to put the ORP meter into the Essentia water. I really didn't know. Didn't that thing go positive as all get out? So, alkaline bottled water, what they're selling you and what they're telling you is going to cause oxidative stress in your body. I mean, what they're telling you is healthy, quote unquote, but it's not. On a cellular level, it is causing oxidative stress. So I just, you said, yeah, I said it when you called out that company, but that was really a question of mine.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what would happen. And sure enough, Essentia had a positive ORP.
Dr. Lisa, for those who don't know what ORP is, what does that mean?
That's a very good question. So the O means oxidative or oxidation. So I think we did a call called "Is Oxygen Good for You?" And yeah, it is. We need to breathe it, but in certain configurations, there's something called reactive oxygen species, and they are the byproducts of metabolism. They're the byproducts of toxins. They're the byproducts of stress, and they cause damage inside the body. They cause free radical electrons to ping around and cause damage inside our cells, inside our DNA. So there's a way to measure if a liquid substance, is able to absorb some of these free radical electron generating oxygen radical species. And we measure it with oxygen reduction potential. So does it have the potential to, and I'm making it simplified, but it's how I remember it. Does this liquid have the potential to reduce oxidative stress? And if oxidative stress can be reduced, then when you put the ORP meter into the liquid, the number will go negative. If the oxidative potential is increased, if the oxidative stress is going to be increased by a liquid, then when you put the probe into that liquid, the number goes positive. So Mr. Hope is holding in his hand in this video an ORP meter, and the wand he's getting ready to put into Essentia, ding, 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 right? And this was a test that I saw live. It starts going positive, which means when that ORP meter goes positive, you're adding oxidative stress, you're aging your body, you're stressing your cells. When it goes negative, you're helping the body to remove oxidative stress. So yeah, the numbers keep going up. When I was with you, I think it went into the 400s or more. So thank you for asking for that.
Yeah, and that second example there that I'm showing, I switched from the Essentia back to the Kangen. So now you're seeing a very high negative number. As you can see here, that dash is denoting it's a negative number. And it's floating around the negative 500s right there, which is pretty high. I poured that water from a machine that's actually in the next room from where I'm doing this demonstration. Sitting there for a while, I was doing the presentation. So being in the 500s, it's pretty good. It probably came out of the machine at about 7, I don't know. But that's a very strong negative number. You know, in contrast to what we saw a moment ago in the positive 100 something or other of the Essentia. And so you don't know that alkaline water in the store is not antioxidant. And you don't really get to know that until you use an oxidative reduction potential meter like this. I think that one is a tap water and put it in. It's a positive 300 something. So this is the best way to test the waters and to show the distinction between the different types of waters out there. The Kangen water, electrolyte reduced water, the essential waters, your tap water, smart waters. So they're all talking a big game about how healthy they are for you. When it comes right down to it, they oxidizing you, or do they have an antioxidant effect? You know, and using a pH liquid dye can show you pH alkaline or acidic. You know, but alkalinity has nothing to do with antioxidant. So the Essentia, if you put the dye in, it's going to show up to be alkaline, yeah? But just because it's alkaline doesn't mean that it's antioxidant or detoxing. So that's a very, very big distinction we had to make. Remove the constant rhetoric of alkalinity. Get back to the truth of what the matter is. You know, so anybody else in the call have questions about that? Because I'm glad to answer questions about the antioxidant effect of water. These are the key things, and it became the key reason why these calls of ours even got started, because there was so much confusion on this issue. As a matter of fact, scientists that challenged me on this subject matter, the exact same room I'm doing this presentation, is where that I got yelled at about asking a question about alkalinity and its health benefits. She should have just answered the question, but it said, well, alkalinity has nothing to do with your health. I don't know why you asked such a question. Yeah, well, she didn't end up really answering my question about what Kangen water was, so she didn't know. I had to study it on my own, but I sure enough found out what it was. And alkaline water, in terms of what alkaline, the term alkalinity is, and alkaline water, as a general rule, is not
dinner.
that thing that would
Really,
be
they got the parents.
what we're looking at for health benefits.
A week
You know.
before the wedding. And so he had.
We'll double check, see if anyone has questions in the meantime.
The
All right, Adrian,
father and mom, and over at
has your
Sorry, Dr. Secretary, I muted you. You might have to unmute yourself. Sorry for that. There was a lot of noise. I tried to stop it. I didn't know it would get you too. So.
it got me. All
Sorry.
right, so everyone is freshly muted. So if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question, you need to so to do. You are able and welcome.
I'll enable them again. Just I was unmuted and they got a little noisy. So just be careful out there.
Okay, so I couldn't understand a word you just said, Mr. Hope, but I'm sure it was clever.
Yeah, sure was.
So we still have a little bit of connectivity
Sure,
issues.
sure. Oh yeah, on my side, sure. So anybody out there with questions, I take those questions as we pull up the call, and we're probably getting out of here on time for the first time in about a year.
Not the
Sometimes,
first time, but since I don't see any hands right now and I don't see any fresh.
Y'all sure you don't have any questions out there? Because we can sure answer them. Y'all know everybody's clear about alkalinity, not the key component about Kangen water. Everyone's clear about the oxidative effect. These are things you need to know. Too many people out there talking about alkalinity. It's not about alkalinity, it's about antioxidant. So, if you have a question we'd like to take on the way out. Go ahead, Leslie.
What I think he said was he's thanking us for recognizing how well he explained the concept of alkalinity versus antioxidant effect. And there definitely is a difference. So while you may be getting your questions together, I'm going to do a little teeny bit of housekeeping. And thank you for joining us today. And Mr. Hope showed a slide earlier. But I do want to, this is to remind me to tell you to go to YouTube for the replay, search Kangen Water Radio. All the resources will be there in the description box. Also, all of our contact information, although it is also here, and Mr. Hope went over it earlier today. For those of you who want to know exactly how to maximize the third prong of the three-pronged approach, that is complete nutrition, we have a survey that you can take, and that is available at drlisahealth.com. And that link is also in the description box on the YouTube video. So when you go to YouTube, please subscribe, like us, love us, comment, all the things, but it's all there for you, all of the resources that we include in our article. And in that entire video that Mr. Hope showed us today, where he does an entire Kangen water demonstration and does the entire explanation live to a live audience as well. So all of that's available on our YouTube Kangen Water Radio station channel. All right, Mr. Hope, I think you get the last word today.
Well, there's that. Thank you for interpreting my foreign language I can see what happens at the UN. They do their best to translate. I don't know. Well, the translator is saying the same thing that the person was saying, right?
I'm really
Two
good at
different-
English to English translation.
Yeah, right. You do well. You do well. So again, thank you all for coming to our Kangen Water Health and Information call on this gorgeous, beautiful Saturday afternoon, morning, evening, nighttime, wherever you are around the world, 10 a.m. Pacific Coast, 1 p.m. starting in the East Coast USA, 6 p.m. starting in the United Kingdom, 6 p.m. in Nigeria, 5 p.m. in South Africa, 9 p.m. in Dubai, and 10:30 p.m. in India. Otherwise, if you're not in those countries, because I can't be everywhere, right? So, thank you all for coming to our Kangen Water Health Information call. We'd love to see you again, and see you again Wednesday. Again, same time, every Wednesday and Saturday. God bless you all.
We love you all. Mwah.
Mwah.